Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Shock, Twiz, Bill Nye, Grasspelt, Haunt. Let me scroll up. Who else is in here? I think that's everybody. Welcome, welcome. We're about to get started with some Score Attack community matches. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it here. And I am Austin from Enhance. Hope everyone is having a good Friday or possibly Saturday morning if you're on the eastern side of the world. Let's get started here. Hop right into it. Apologies for the slight delay in getting started here. We're going to watch some good old classic, or not classic. I meant classic in the sense of not the game mode, but we're going to watch some Score Attack. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to get a lobby set up here. If you want to participate, head to our Discord at discord.gg/enhance and head to the announcements channel, and there should be a link to our matchmaking thread. If you're new to Discord or our community showcases, we can help you out in that process and tag you in that thread if you are having trouble navigating. Alright, and I'm just setting up the lobby here, and we're going to hop right into it, because people have some other plans coming up here. Haunt, what are you commentating tonight? Because I know Haunt is possibly commentating Tetris, if I were to guess. But first up, we're going to have Bill Nye, the Science Fry, versus Shock. Bill Nye is, I guess, now a regular here on our stream. So tagged you with our room code. Yeah, I appreciate everyone that makes it out to our Friday streams. You know, the more regulars you have, the more it builds on itself. People will hear about this, and we can evolve this Friday showcase depending on how many people come out. Excuse me. So definitely enjoy seeing our regulars. Oh, sorry, I'm in the. I am not playing. Also, I'm going to set this to first to 2. I think we can do that tonight. We have fewer matchups, so we should be able to have longer sets here. And yeah, don't be shy if you want to play. I think we need a newer player to play against Twiz tonight. So if you are brand new to Score Attack or can throw down a little bit, yeah, don't be shy. All skill levels are encouraged to participate. And oh, looks like they've started. Okay. So Bill Nye versus Shock. I know Shock is hailing from Australia here. And I can't remember where Bill Nye is from. Obviously, the American TV show host is from America here. Yeah, and I think this is around the 5K range, 5 to 6K. I think Shock might be a little higher rated. But we'll see what Bill Nye can do here, if they can throw down. And we also had a level... Was that a level 1 start? Kind of like to see it. It gives you the most runway, I suppose, for scoring, or I guess you can have the longest game. Or I guess level 10 and below, right? But when you start on level 1, you see the most color changes and stuff like that from Shock. Actually, we should probably enable the background here. Spice up the effects for everyone spectating. Oh, that's rough, Haunt. Yeah, having a unreliable internet is one of the most frustrating things in the world. Fortunately, it's been better for me in recent years, but when I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio, when I was going to school there, that's when I had very unreliable internet. It may have gotten better since then, but it made some online games unplayable. Looking at you, MOBA games. So Shock with a pretty strong start here. They seem to have a better grasp on going for T-spin doubles, which is the most efficient way to play this game mode for scoring. But we'll see if Bill Nye can maybe come back here once higher gravity comes into play, as that is a important part of navigating the later levels in score attack where there is comeback potential. Is it Aiken versus Twiz? Oh, I guess, yeah, Aiken, your opponent's no longer here as well. We'll see if anybody pops in here. Ideally, we get a few more players interested. So yeah, we're looking for some more players, and some players awaiting matchups if anybody watching wants to play. Welcome in Caitlin from Instagram here. You miss playing Tetris. Yeah, unless I guess the way that we could make that work is if we have some buffs for Twiz or something like that. Whether it's a score buff or something like that. So yeah, Shock with a pretty convincing lead. However, within the later levels at 150k is can be broken quite easily. So again, as to iterate on that previous point, we'll see how Bill and I can play in these later levels, and perhaps I can make a comeback here. You know, 2 openers and then just wing it. Yeah, you know what? My opener game has never been that great either. I don't know if it's just a lack of interest, but usually I do. I will say when I do actually take the time to learn openers, it is pretty satisfying. Once it kind of clicks, right? Because then it's just second nature. So I definitely recommend taking the time to, and that goes for any strategy. If you're a student of the game, like it is pretty rewarding. Learning is fun, everybody. Whether it's Tetris or whatever you may be interested in. Learning is especially fun once you reap the rewards. First time viewer, would happily get in on multiplayer, just don't know how. I have my Grandmaster rank, though I don't play multiplayer much, and wouldn't say I'm a pro. Well, that is perfect, because we have some other newcomers in our match queue that are looking for some matches, so you're definitely welcome to hop in here. Are you in our community Discord? Discord.gg/enhance, and we can tag you in the thread and send you the room code there. Perfect. Let's see if I can find you on there. What's your Discord username? Process of learning openers take time. You'll learn it soon. Dragon Warrior. All right. Go for the quick all clear and then freestyle after that. That's my jam right now. Yeah, freestyle is a lot of fun. Which is why we kind of, for tournament play, level 10 allows for that, right? It's part of the reason we enabled level 10 for competitive. Jay Coleman, gotcha. Not to be confused with the rapper. All right, I just tagged you within our matchmaking thread, and yeah, just let me know your score tag SR if you could, and then we'll match you with somebody around your skill level. So we are getting into those late levels here. I'm loving the color scheme for level 3 on Shock's side. Again, on these later levels, actually, if Bill Nye can get some Tetrises even, yeah, I think there's enough runway where you don't necessarily have to go for T-spin doubles here. But this is totally a score that can be, where Bill Nye can come back from this. Although I may be spoiled from watching players like Super Shocky, who is supposed to be playing tonight, by the way. That'll be great to see. So we'll have some of the best players playing tonight if you're looking to learn from them. Given they don't meme on the settings as Knighting is currently suggesting. Oh, okay. GG. Maybe Bill Nye had to get ready for work or something like that. I would guess that may be what it was. But oh, I'll set up another lobby here. Oh, you did meme on the settings last time. That's right. Your SR is apparently 0. Well, if you're new to the game, we'll just we'll pair you with Twiz. Let's do that. So Twiz and J. Cole, if you want to play next. Or actually, sorry, we'll get you after. I think Haunt wants to get their match done so they can get ready for their commentating later tonight. But we'll get you on deck. So, Haunt and who's Haunt playing again? Grass Pelt. Play plenty of Tetris Effect, just not the multiplayer for what it's worth. Okay, cool. Well, glad you're here and playing possibly multiplayer for the first time. Yeah, Score Attack is a pretty a welcoming game mode to get into multiplayer, right? Because nobody's like sending you lines and stuff like that, depending on your skill level. We'll see. We'll see how you can throw down here tonight. It always reminds me of like the Facebook Tetris, which was popular back in the day, where it's more of like a score battle, or even like the classic Score Attack that everyone's familiar with in CTWC tournaments, right? Which Summoning Salt just did a video on recently. I don't know if any of you follow speedrunning history videos like Summoning Salt, but they're pretty popular. They just did a big Tetris video, and a bunch of people have found the Tetris scene through that recently. Oh, you guys want to play Classic Bag? Okay, sure. Do you want to go full Classic and turn it to One Piece preview? Oh, also let me, sorry. I want to remake the lobby. I need to change some graphical settings, and then we'll hop back in there. Okay, sorry about that. We'll remake the lobby. Just a bag type, got it. All right, we are on Classic Bag. Got it, yeah, 3,500 is the standard. It does show your overall. You're probably thinking of the overall SR in the top right. That kind of like brings together all your SR from every game mode, including the connected team mode. But yeah, we host these every Friday, so if you're looking to break into Tetris Effect multiplayer, definitely happy to help you along that journey. All right, looks like our players are hopping in. So we are doing a little bit of a twist on Score Attack, whereas Classic Bag, meaning the upcoming pieces are entirely random. Because usually in Score Attack, you have what's called 7 Bag. Let me get on the gameplay real quick. Which means you're bound to get, like, the RNG isn't entirely random, right? You're bound to get your pieces within a certain amount of pieces. I guess within the first bag, within 7 pieces, you're going to get every piece. But following that, it's like every 13 pieces, right? Somebody could probably explain it better than me, but we are throwing that out of the window and going with Classic Bag here, which you can enable in the settings. Which means it's harder to build for T-spins in Classic Bag, which is like the way to play Score Attack because it's the most efficient line clear for score. Because a T-spin double is worth just as much as a Tetris with less lines cleared, meaning you can get more score before you get into those crazy high gravity levels, right? So Classic kind of, it pretty much forces you to kind of freestyle a bit and think on the fly due to the RNG. It's harder to pattern stack if you don't know what pieces you're going to get. Grass Pelt's pieces look slightly more contrasty than usual. It could depend on everybody's monitors. Monitor settings. It could also be depending on the level you're used to starting on. I think level 10 might have a different background. Or I have some different graphical settings than you do. I like grass pelt fishing for pieces. Oh, look at that. There's like 5 squares in a row for grass pelt. That's the beauty of classic bag. But at the same time, they do have the same piece sets. So you can, just like in classic score attack, you can stack for certain dependencies, right? Or stack so that you have the least piece dependencies as you can. So going for like a T-spin double is probably a little more risky in classic bag rather than going for Tetrises, right? Going for Tetrises is a lot more doable to maintain efficiency within classic bag. I guess you could probably argue against that, but as far as I know. At the least, it's easier to maintain. Yeah, changing the hold and piece previews in custom games is kind of one of the last recent updates we had to Tetris Effect. Just a nice quality of life thing, because I mean you can technically adjust that out of the friend lobby, right? But it's nice to kind of force that in the friend lobbies as well, in case players want to easily change those settings for versus. Ooh, that was a nice find from Grass Pelt with that funky spin. Unfortunately, they are not getting a T-piece, so they're going to have to burn out of that. So Haunt with a 260k lead, however, they are quite ahead on lines. So that's looks like about 40 lines that Grass Pelt has to work with to get caught up. So it's actually a bit closer than you would think. However, it does have the pressure, like Grass Pelt does need to score, right, in order to get caught up. So Haunt is setting the pace here. Now, one thing to note, players do get the same pieces, so it's easier to do this in classic score attack on Tetris Effect. I think score attack's a little more fast-paced, but you can actually, if you are really big-brained, you can look at the opponent's upcoming piece queues and kind of get an idea of what pieces are to come on your side, right? It's a little more doable in classic score attack because of the pacing, especially in level 18 or like earlier than that. Yeah, I'm curious if any top level score attack players have utilized that in their matches. I feel like it might be a little too fast paced to really do it effectively. I think, if anything, probably at the start of the match, if you have trouble with like openers, you can always see what your opponent is doing to kind of copy them right off the bat, right? If you are bad at opening SC stacking and you're playing against Super Shocky, just watch what Super Shocky does. That's what I do. Anyways. So Haunt is extending that lead, but again, naturally that is going to happen with these later levels where you get more score, and Haunt is still quite a bit ahead on lines. But it is getting to a pretty difficult point to chase down, so bear in mind that when Haunt ends their game, Grass Pelt will only have 2 minutes to get caught up here. And that gets to the point where it's a lot of pressure for players of nearly any skill level. But if Grass Pelt is able to nail some T-spins in these later levels, they should get caught up fairly quickly. So they are definitely not out of this, especially with Haunt's big line lead here. But it definitely puts on pressure. I can barely watch my own board, and you're talking about watching the opponents. Yeah, that is a late thing to learn. Once you are very comfortable already knowing what to do, that's when you can kind of screen watch. Screen watching is very important for zone battle as well, like knowing when to accept and tank garbage, for example, or to, like for counterattacking, stuff like that. You see it a lot, like especially in like Puyo Puyo Tetris, for example, where you can also enable this on zone battle custom settings where you can't really block garbage with your attacks. It's really nice to know when to tank and whatnot. So screen watching is important in pretty much every game mode. Maybe not connected versus. Screen watching the boss won't help you much, except you may get an idea of like how aggressive you can play, I guess, or knowing when to go for T-spins and Tetrises before you get a attack from the boss. All right, so yeah, this lead is getting pretty tough to deal with for Grass Pelt. Well, we'll see what happens. And Haunt is able to play pretty late speed, so we'll see if they can get to level 30 here. So they are I think they play Master Mode quite a bit. All right, Grass Pelt, I believe in you. Although this is classic bag, so I guess in a way that lead looks even more scary because it's harder to force T-spins. But they have some room to work with here. They're gonna have to be quite efficient, so yeah, if you're Grass Pelt, you're like, I gotta, in a way, force this efficiency even if I mess up. Because those later levels are going to kick in here where the speed gets very, very fast, as we just saw. So Tetris. There is potential here, but I am admittedly skeptical because of the classic bag. That's going to be really hard to get caught up. So very, very nicely played by Haunt for sure. There's a T-spin double. It's just going to be really hard to fish for these T-spin doubles in these later levels, so unless Grass Pelt goes God mode here, which can happen from time to time, yeah, they're going to top out here. It isn't over until it's over, but it's over now. Haunt takes game number 1. I like these level 10 starts. And yes, if you're just tuning in, these matches are open to anybody in the community, so don't be shy. All skill levels are welcome to participate. If you're watching and like, oh my god, these players are way above me, do not fret, as typically we have the highest level players that come out to these events, right? So, yeah, it's been nice to get more newcomers hopping in here and participating. And yeah, if you have any questions, don't be shy. as if you're anything like me and just someone that likes to lurk on these streams, definitely happy to have your participation. So we'll see if Grasspelt can have a stronger game 2 here, perhaps getting used to that classic bag and knowing how to best greed and maybe knowing your limits. Now, what's interesting, usually you don't want to set up your T-spin with a T-piece like that because you need that T-piece to to complete the T-spin. However, because it is classic bag, why not set up the T-spin with a T-piece? So Grasspelt also keeping up in speed with Haunt, so it is a true lead for Haunt. However, I like Grasspelt's board a little bit more. Less holes in their stack, which means if they keep it clean, they should get caught up efficiently here. Shocky and Knighting, have you guys decided on your meme settings for later? And yes, up next we're going to have Twiz and our newcomer, Coleman. Yeah, and one thing to note, and I like to do this when I watch Classic Store Attack, you could actually, if you want to play along here, well, actually, I guess it doesn't really work out because the players get different pieces, but if you start at the same time as our players do in their matches here, you can kind of like emulate that you're in a matchup with them, right? I do that a lot for Classic Score Attack matches, like if I'm watching a stream and I'm like, I want to see how I would play if I was actually in this match, right? To start at the same time, and like then you can compare your scores and see where you differ. Yeah, even on like especially classic Tetris tournaments, when they all use like the same starting seeds and whatnot, it's really easy to play along and like use the same seed. Anyways, looks like we did approach that transition. So Haunt is already on level 12, about 20 lines ahead, or 25 lines ahead of Grasspelt. So again, kind of a similar narrative. However, I think Grasspelt is a little more poised to make this score come back than the previous match. Maniac, or not Maniac. Whenever I see the M something, I think Maniac. Master 27 clear. Maniac 27. Area 27 would be tough. Yeah, I think my Master clear was... I don't know what level I started on, actually. Hunt setting up for that T-spin double. Hits it into that Tetris, very nice. And Grasspelt with a nice setup on their side as well, into that T-spin double from a Tetris. I really like Grasspelt stacking right now. Yeah, classic bag, this, like, I guess 7-2, well, is pretty good. As with not classic. Pretty much any, yeah, once this high gravity kicks in, you don't want to have too much of a center well for the problems we see right now. Like, your pieces are going to instantly drop in the middle, so you're going to, like, stack naturally where your T-spin well is. So you kind of want to stick to the far left or far right once you hit a certain level, certain speed. Alrighty. Haunt with a bit of cheese, but they can work through this cheese efficiently. Cheese meaning holes in the board, for those of you unaware. And nice T-spin single, opening up that well into a T-spin 0, which I believe does give you a little bit of score, right? Nice stacking from Haunt. Just good freestyle classic stacking. And yeah, Haunt did manage to pull ahead on lines again, so same story as last game. However, I think Grasspelt is a little bit more in range now to get caught up on score. The issue is, I think Haunt plays these later levels, or can get a little bit farther, it seems like, in score attacks. So yeah, Grasspelt is going to have a little bit more efficiency than Haunt if they're going to want to take this dub. And Haunt's a pretty great player, so easier said than done. Master 28 start clear. That's great. What's your highest knighting? $27. Yeah, I don't play a whole lot of Master Mode, except for, I guess when we were adding it to, adding Endless to the effect modes, or to Master Mode, and then, of course, when I didn't have a clear, I played it the most. Alright, Grasspelt is pretty high here, but they don't have any T pieces on the way. There it is. So, yeah, to iterate again for anybody hopping in here, I see we have some people hopping in on Instagram. Welcome in. But they are actually, if you played Score Attack, typically you kind of know what pieces are coming. You expect to get some long bars, get some T pieces, because it's not fully random. But these players opted to change the game settings so that it is pure randomness, or nearly pure randomness, because of the classic bag modifier, which means you get the same pieces as you would in like a classic Score Attack, like on the old Nintendo, right? All right. Anyways, 400k for Grasspelt. Actually, ended up just like last game. There is a chance here. We'll see if Grasspelt can pop off. There's one. Maybe if the randomness is very favorable. Which I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. There is that T-spin. Ooh, nice clear into the T-spin. T-spin single clear, very nice. So they're playing efficient. It's actually kind of close. It just depends on... Yeah, I don't know how far Grasspelt can play level-wise here. Definitely more attainable than last game. Ooh, doesn't get that piece over. That would have been... That was crucial to get that T-spin. Uh-oh. And looks like Grasspelt will top out. So just struggling with those last few levels. And yeah, like, look, their efficiency was pretty similar. If only Grasspelt could play a little bit later. But even then, Haunt having a nice showing there with their classic freestyling. That was a good matchup. Thanks for playing, guys, and changing up the settings there. So next up, we are going to have our newcomer. Let's see. I already forget my newcomer's name. Coleman versus Twiz. Twiz, come on down. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh yeah, thank you. I will disable classic settings. All right, we are back to good old 7-bag. Twiz, I don't know about that. We'll see how good Jay Coleman is. We do not have any idea, just because they're new to Tetris Effect multiplayer, but not Tetris, so this could be a dark horse. But we'll see. I think the same room code that was last posted by me in the Discord, Twiz. Oh, nice. So Coleman is undefeated in score attack. Will they maintain that? As far as I know, they are the greatest score attack player of all time. Never lost. Even Shocky's not undefeated, our Tetris Effect champion. I'd rather be the bench boy. If you need a 9.3k to 9.4k player, gotcha. Yes, up to you. I think we need a match for Aiken, who is around 6 or 7k. I think 7k. All right, we're hopping into it. We have a brand new player on score attack here. Jay Coleman, but they know how to play Tetris, so it'll be fun to see how they adapt to new multiplayer experience. Even rocking the One Piece preview. Very nice. All right, let's see what they can do here. Yeah, pretty good stacking from Jay Coleman. Obviously going for Tetrises here. So Twiz may have a little bit more T-spin double knowledge, but sometimes keeping it simple, good fundamentals like going for Tetrises, keeping your board clean, that can carry you a little bit. So we'll see how this plays out. We like a good level 1 start, Shocky. You get the most color switching if you use the default colors like Coleman is here. So yeah, what Twiz has going for them is they are setting up for T-spin doubles. Coleman is playing a little bit faster. I don't know if that'll come into play. There is that 2-minute chase down timer, so yeah, right now Coleman is kind of setting up the pace for Twiz to follow. I like this dynamic. Literal newcomer Coleman, but they're not new to Tetris, obviously. Look, they're able to stack Tetrises pretty effectively, but at the same time, they haven't played the game mode much, or I don't know if they know how to set up T-spin doubles here. Maybe we'll see one. Coleman, as soon as this is the end of their undefeated run, we will see. This actually looks like a pretty close matchup. A bit of difference in play styles too, which is cool to see. And yeah, if anybody else is looking to play tonight, I guess we are still looking for a few more players. We need somebody to play against Aiken. Somebody around these. What is Aiken's SR? Let's see. Around 6K. All right. Yeah, I really I'm liking the good fundamental stacking from Jay Coleman here. Something that like newer players are, well, I don't know how new they are to the game, but something new players have trouble with is knowing when to take singles and doubles, right? Like keep your board low. J. Cole's board has been pretty low this whole game, mostly going for Tetrises. Actually, pretty much only going for Tetrises, but they know how to down stack and keep their board low, it seems like, which is nice. Twiz is going to be hard to beat here, simply due to their T-spin knowledge, being able to squeeze out extra points that way. But we'll see how these later levels play out. If Jay Coleman's a little stronger on high gravity or not, that could be a good strength to have in this matchup. And yes, if you want to play, whether it's tonight or in the future, be sure to join our Discord at discord.gg/enhance, as we host these community events every Friday, or these community showcases, unless there's something special going on. Which, by the way, next week we will be having a Humanity stream on Friday, because we are launching Humanity on Xbox on May 30th. So we aren't going to be doing a community showcase next week, but pretty much every other week, as long as there's not something else going on. And yeah, it's been nice doing these and having everybody come out. But yeah, Humanity and Tetris are quite different games, even though they are both puzzle games in a sense. But yeah, launching it into Game Pass on May 30th, which is exciting. Oh, okay. Twiz missed that T-spin setup, but they made a nice adjustment there. So Coleman actually handling this high gravity pretty well. Like I mentioned before, good fundamentals and keeping really low could prove useful in nabbing some score on these later levels. For somebody that's literally played, this is their second score attack game. I like what I see. It's going to be tricky beating Twiz, though. They are behind by 100k. Those Tetrises will... If Jay Coleman can get a few Tetrises, I feel like they'll be right back into the game here, so we'll see what they can do here. And nice stacking, actually. Guess a nice triple. Bit of a down stack combo there. Humanity, yeah, it should still be on PlayStation Plus as well. Yep. Ooh, welcome in, Big Wee. Good morning. You have any weekend plans, Big Wee? It is Saturday morning for you. All right. So actually, Coleman able to nab back a little bit of the score lead, keeping it under 100K. And yeah, if Coleman can actually get some Tetrises on these later levels, they'll be back in this. Of course, they are pretty new to score attack, like I mentioned. It's only the second game. So looks like they're kind of doing some learning on the fly. And considering that, they're doing quite a good job here. Ooh, Tetris ready. Can they get that long bar in there? And boom, Tetris for Coleman. J.K. Ullman. Gonna be a scorcher in Japan. I'm gonna get some ice cream. Yeah, there's an ice cream spot on my block that just opened recently. Or it's not like a brand new, but it opens every summer, like spring/summer. So ice cream is back on the menu, everybody. It's that time of year. Unless you're in Nova Scotia or Canada or anywhere up north. You might have to wait a little bit longer. All right. You know what? Twiz is actually stacking pretty well, too. Coleman is doing a really nice job keeping up, though. They haven't been able to bring it entirely back in their favor. But look, they're already on level 25, and considering this is like their second game of score attack ever, I like what I see. And there is still room to get caught up here. So to do a mild amount of coaching while Jay Coleman is playing here. Yeah, the lock-in speed is still a bit faster, even though it seems like it's almost the same speed, right? But you still have less time to make your decision here, and I feel like you're especially going to notice that on level 26 and beyond, is when players start to really feel it, I feel like. Uh-oh. And it looks like, can they manage? No, Coleman's going to top out level 26. Very nicely played. Considering they're brand new player. Unfortunately, that does not mean you are undefeated anymore, so can't wear that card or have that card to your name anymore. But yeah, Twiz actually doing a nice job here, getting a dub. Which, by the way, Jay Coleman, you can adjust your piece preview if you are maybe after this match if you want to. Like you can see, Twiz has 4 piece previews. It can be helpful for stacking, even if you aren't really utilizing all of them. It depends, though. Some players also like that smaller piece preview just so it doesn't overwhelm them. But you know when you're going to get like long bars and stuff like that, so you can stack accordingly. All right, game number 2. Well, first off, Coleman hasn't actually lost yet. They have not lost a set. Losing a round. But haven't lost the match quite yet. Level 5 start. Love to see it. Is that true? If you make doubles worth nothing in custom settings, it makes T-spin doubles also worth nothing? I didn't know that. That would be kind of fun, actually. I just tell it like I see it, Coleman. I saw good fundamentals, which is important. And I think, yeah, if you do play TEC multiplayer more frequently, I can tell you have a good start or a good understanding of the game. The other knowledge will kind of slide in following a decent base understanding of Tetris. Like, for example, I am not very keen, or I don't really go out of my way to study openers that often, right? But I think it definitely helps when I do actually take the time to learn things like that, or any new pattern stacking methods. If you have like a good base understanding of Tetris, it makes learning, I feel like it sticks a little easier, right? So yeah, Jay Coleman, if you ever do try to learn new strategies and whatnot, you have a good base game in there, which is cool to see. Back-to-back part of the back-to-back TSDs get buffs applied 3 times. Back-to-back part. What do you mean by that? You still get the back-to-back buff when you have doubles disabled? Or score bonus? Ooh, Twiz with a 3-wide. Unfortunately, combos are not the strongest thing in score attack. It'd be kind of fun. Well, that's subjective, but if like a 4-wide was strong in score attack, it would be interesting. Or not interesting, depending on how you look at it. I think there's probably a good reason that combos aren't OP in score attack. I guess what you could do is if we like reversed the scoring table, right? That'd be kind of fun. Where singles are the highest and Tetrises are the lowest. If you reverse that score table, that should make combos really strong, right? I feel like you'd get some absurd scores if every single was worth like a Tetris. You know what I really like in score attack is the hard drop noise. You hear that like little click. It sounds like a like you have like a nice gaming mouse click whenever a piece locks in. I enjoy it. It's little things. On like Coleman's side here. All right, nice back-to-back combo from Twiz with the center will. Good old 5-4 stack. Coleman, I guess, running into a few double hard drop issues there, kind of ruining their board. They saw the spin there, which it does work if you do a different rotation. That kind of a high-level move there. But I like that they even saw that line spin to begin with. Yeah, so Coleman likely just going to want to keep things clean here, bring their board down. And kind of the same story here, with about 100k lead for Twiz. Again, Coleman can overcome this, and we already saw they could play actually pretty late. They got to level 26, which is quite good. So it may come down. Oh, I don't know if they gave up or if their controller battery ran out or whatever happened there. But Twiz is good for game 2 here and for taking the set. Or somebody walked in the room like, "Hey, mister, we had plans tonight and you're here playing Tetris. Get off that game right now." That could have happened as well. All right. Okay, yeah, an unexpected delivery that wasn't even for me. So, somebody at the door for Coleman. That's funny. I can't say I can relate to that when you're having a gamer session and somebody's at the door or something distracting. For me, it's if my cat hops on my keyboard and I just instantly lose. But at the same time, I don't get mad at my cat because I enjoy my cat's presence. So it's a win. Not a win-win, but you win some and you lose some. And Twiz is Molining, which is a keep playing even though you won term in Classic. So next up we have, who do we have? So I guess Knighting and Super Shocky. We still need a matchup for Aiken. Is Aiken still around? I assume Aiken's still around. I could be down to play a match with you, Aiken. We could always do some like weird settings or talk about that combo setting I was talking about. If we want to make it somewhat even or fair game. While we think of that or get a matchup for Aiken, let's get Knighting versus Super Shocky up next. Oh, Shock 59 round? Yeah, we could do a Shock 59 versus Aiken. I am 100% game for that. Let's do that after the Super Shocky match. If Aiken and the non-Super Shock, the regular Shock, if you two want to play to close out the stream. Okay. Regular Shock will be after Super Shock. So same room code in the Discord for Super Shocky and Knighting, who I believe are in chat. Yes, they are. Okay. What was the setting again? We wanted to do no doubles. So actually, I'll just show it on screen real quick. So yeah, we're going to set it up at the bottom of the match options. You can adjust your scoring template. If you ever have friends you want to play with and adjust these settings, it could be fun. We are going to set doubles is 0%, and that actually makes T-spin doubles not worth anything. So in a way, you'd want to go for T-spin singles and triples, right? Yeah, I think that'd be the most efficient move. So maybe triple towers or not to help him out, but yeah, interesting. All right, yeah, I'm ready for you guys. Good luck, have fun. Nighting had a cheeseburger for lunch. It was tasty. I haven't had a cheeseburger in a minute. All right. Oh yeah, totally happy to help, Coleman. Yeah, glad you made it out here. And feel free to join us for future showcases. We usually cover all the game modes too, so if you want to play a little bit of Tetris Effect before your next showcase, if you want to up your game. But yeah, always happy to have new players here. As someone that just loves the game, I always enjoy having more people playing it, so. Let's see. Knighting with this funky setup here. I'm not sure what's happening. Are they trying to go for T-spin singles? So that T-spin double that wasn't worth anything. Okay, there's a T-spin single. So they're ST stacking, but they don't want doubles. So I guess hamburger stacking, right? Oh, there we go. This is goofy, super goofy. For the record, Super Shock kind of wrote the guide on this kind of stacking. I bring it up every time. Sorry if you're sick of it. Everybody else that's already heard it, but yeah, Super Shocky's written a guide on ST stacking, which is kind of what you see here. Let me see. There should be a command here in Twitch chat. I'll share it on YouTube as well. If you are interested in learning about ST stacking, here's a very, very thorough guide on it. Obviously, they're kind of not fully ST stacking because doubles are worth nothing in this meme setting right now. But yeah, if you're looking to up your Tetris game a little bit, want to learn something new, it's a good guide to go through. Where's my YouTube chat? It's posted there as well. Oh, I should probably update to have that shorter link. Wouldn't this be more efficient than ST stacking? What do you mean? Like going for T-spin singles? It should be the same, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, hamburger. It depends on how it leaves your board state, right? T-spin single is not the same points as a Tetris. Is it? You guys are making me second guess myself. So Nighting actually kind of killing it with this no T-spin double so far. Super Shocky and Shambles. But we'll see how this plays out. Super Shocky is a clutch player after all. Oh, and they don't... Okay, perfect. There's that T-spin single. All right, let's put that. Yeah, and one thing to consider as well is you're using your T piece, so you only have so many T pieces for T-spin singles, right? I might be wrong on the scoring thing, like you mentioned, though. Yeah, depending on the game. So, okay, Super Shock actually going for T-spin triple, which is kind of my initial thought. I feel like that'd be easier to set up than T-spin singles. So, can Shock pop off here? It's quite the lead for Nighting. Super Shocky is quite capable of playing into higher speeds. Actually going for Tetris. All right, Nighting taking game number 1. We'll see if Super Shock is learning from their experience. So a little bit messy on both sides. We'll see if they refine their gameplay. Just to reiterate, we have doubles disabled, which means T-spin doubles are worth 0 or zilch. Having said the best of us. I do say that a lot, don't I? But it's true. It's just true. Ooh, look at this clean hamburger from Nighting. For those of you unaware, hamburger sacking is a is a term in Tetris, yes. And I do say that, yes. I love how many Tetraminos are in the background. There's quite a bit, isn't there? Yeah, sometimes I disable it when I'm like getting sweaty and tryharding. But while we're here to spectating matches, why not turn up the graphics, right? Lean into it. So shot getting a little high there, yeah. There was that J piece at the far right, and goes for a T-spin single. So yeah, even if you do set up for a T-spin double, I mean, you just rotate your T-piece vertically and you'll hit that T-spin single, like we see Shocky doing. Shocky is behind about 20 lines. Knighting is playing like a perfect hamburger stack. Possibly because they ate a cheeseburger earlier. Just really honing in the power. So yeah, usually when players are ST stacking, they'll throw their red Z pieces to the right? Or if you stack on the left, your green S pieces. However, Knighting, as you see, is placing that S piece flat on the right, which I believe is kind of the basis of the hamburger stack. Interesting T-spin single choices from Knighting, trying to follow along here. It's like they are going to have to finally take some burns. And Chalky's actually ahead on lines, so I don't know if they're playing the speed game now. They're like, I'm not going to beat Knighting on this single T-spin single efficiency. Let's just go vroom vroom and maybe force Knighting into a chase down scenario, because as soon as the game ends, if the opposing player is behind, they will have 2 minutes to get caught up. However, Super Shockey's turning up the speed, but they're still behind, so this is looking kind of rough here. They are going for Tetrises, back-to-back Tetrises. Yeah, we'll see how this ends up here. This is not looking good for our homie Super Shock. They did break the score. They're almost in the lead now. Okay, they managed to get the lead. Uh-oh. Bit of a misdrop there. Interesting that Super Shock decided to opt for speed. Kind of makes sense, but Knighting is putting on a stellar game right now. Unfortunately for Super Shock. A T-spin single into the double there. Super Shock is on that level 29, handling it very well, actually. Ooh, and they're going to top out. Knighting is golden. The golden hamburger stack prevails. That is an interesting custom game setting setup there. Whenever I see these funky custom game settings, I want to give it a try. So if anyone ever wants to challenge me to doubles disabled, if anyone ever wants to challenge me to the double D setting, then let me know. All right, Knighting is our victor. GG. And thanks for that odd display of Tetris. It does feel weird. Even as a spectator, it feels weird. Yeah, I'd be curious to see maybe like T-spin triple towers. I guess hamburger is probably more efficient than that, but I think there's a few other ways you could approach that. Because you can infinite TST. Not many people do it in score attack, but you can kind of manage that with high gravity, right? Or you can rather. All right, last but not least, we have Aiken versus Chalk 59 to close out the stream. Aiken and Chalk, make your way to the lobby. Alrighty. Hard to maintain infinite TST in 20G. Yeah, I feel like it's not actually that explored in score attack, right? I've seen a few players do it effectively, but they aren't playing super actively in TEC, I guess. I think their name's TST, man. I feel like there's somebody else that did infinite TSTs on one of our tournaments or community showcases. I can't remember who it was. Gascato Bozo or something like that. Somebody like that. So Shock found their way here. It's like Aiken is here. Oh yeah, let me disable the we're back to normal settings. Too much Tetris for me today. Were you playing Tetris earlier as well, Shocky? All right, we are on standard settings, so when you guys are ready, I am ready. Good luck, have fun. Oh, you just never take that many Tetrises in score attack. Nerfing the T-spin double is kind of wonky. Fun to watch, though. You know what a weird thing I like, or a satisfying thing about lower level settings in score attack? I love seeing the colored ghost piece. You know what I'm talking about? You don't get to see that quite as clearly in a high gravity score attack. Ooh, there is no 180 rotation in TEC, unfortunately, for that setup. Aiken. All right. So Aiken, one of the few players out there that prefers less piece previews. There's a few others out there that can throw down too, but they actually use 2-piece preview. Oh, Aiken is topping out. I don't know if something's wrong on their end. As I see him typing in Discord. Turn on HUD. Not sure what you mean. Turn on HUD. Yeah, we can restart if you'd like. If one of you want to disconnect, or Aiken, if you just want to top out again. Yeah, let's do it. Oh. No, that doesn't work here. Draw. The rare draw in Tetris. Aiken needs to lose here. So, Shock, if you want to get some score first. No. Okay. Can Shock pull the win here? This is intense. Oh, man. This is... Oh, GG! Shock takes the win. Very well played. After a grueling first part of that match. All right, so Aiken needs to change some settings, and we'll hop into it. But yeah, thank you everybody that has played so far today. This is our final match. And yeah, tomorrow we are doing the full moon hangout in our Discord, which is usually a lot of fun. Technically it goes on for like an hour, but some of you guys stay in there all day. So hopefully you enjoy it as well. If you are looking to play Connected Versus or any of the full moon game modes, or any multiplayer mode, or just friend lobbies, etc., Maniac, Connect and Run, stuff like that, hop in our Discord tomorrow. And yeah, you can see the Discord event timing. I want to say it's 3 p.m. Eastern. Let me double check. I can look right now. So tomorrow at, I'm sorry, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, in the community Discord, we do the full moon hangout. And would love to have you there. All right, looks like they are ready. This time for realsies. All right, thanks Super Shocky for the entertaining game, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Ooh, Aiken with that T-spin Tetris, or I'm sorry, what am I talking about? Tetris all clear open, which is, if you are going to want to go for all clears, that is the way to do it. Probably one of the most efficient clears in Tetris, right? Okay. T-spin Tetris. Don't mind me. Aiken with this Tetris tower. All right. So maybe going for speed run strats here. Not sure why they're not taking the Tetrises. There we go. I enjoy having Aiken as a part of these showcases because they have their own play style, and it's cool to see. They play outside of the norms here, as we'll see with the two-piece preview. Looks like they're fishing for all clears. Ooh, there's that T-spin double. They stack to the beat of their own drum here. All right, so Aiken with a bit of a score lead. However, they are about 20 lines ahead, meaning Shock has potential to get caught up score-wise. Both players playing pretty Tetris heavy. Nothing wrong with that, especially if they keep their board clean, keep that back-to-back bonus going. That is a good way to secure some games. But naturally, if you're going for Tetrises, chances are you will up these levels sooner than later. So because they are both Tetris heavy here, nobody's really getting a clear level lead. I guess Aiken is playing a little bit faster, but not by too much. It's actually quite close. T-spin Tetris. Yeah, I guess, yeah, technically with giant pieces you can do that, can't you? How does that show up on the Tetris Effect UI now that I think about it? Does it show T-spin and Tetris at the same time? Or does it just show T-spin? Oh, it shows T-spin triple. Okay. Oh, I don't recall looking at that part of the board whenever I see it, so just curious. You get a T-spin sextuple in zone. It should send a giant T to the boss in connected. True. I can't argue with that. I think that'd be a good change for the game. Yeah, run it by the team. All right. T-spin double for Shock. Pretty high to the board. It's a little sketchy. I don't know. Has this ever happened to any of you, where you play a little aggressively to the top and then you misdrop and the game's over? I have never had that happen to me because I never make mistakes at the top of my board, but it can be a little scary. Alrighty. Shock set up for some Tetrises. See two long bars on their way. Eyepieces, eye bars, whatever you want to call them. Heroes. Aiken. Not sure what they're looking for there. Okay, for that T-spin triple. And Aiken is getting into those later levels. Nice Tetris. They are ahead by nearly 50 lines, so Shock can get caught up here given how much Tetrises and T-spins are worth in these later levels. This could be... I have a feeling this could come down to the wire, given how these players are playing right now. Ooh. Nice T-spin from Aiken. The piece had to travel a little bit to finally get there. Meanwhile, Shock has that well covered, however... Oh, I think they found the... Okay, a little difficulty due to the wonderful rotation system in high gravity. I think they had the right idea, just a little tricky to execute there. And Aiken does top out with a 250k lead. This isn't free by any means for Shock. We'll see how well they play in these later levels. All right, nicely done. Looking for that T-spin and or Tetris here. And it is in fact and. They got both. 125k to go. This level is getting a bit high. I feel like players especially feel the pressure around 25, 26, depending on their skill level. Let's see. Shock so far so good. They're set up for that T-spin double. There's that T-piece. And maybe a back-to-back Tetris. There it is. A back-to-back is crucial. Adds on a lot of score here. Ooh, and that nearly does it. Just 6k now. Okay, that double does it. And GG. Shock takes game numero uno, number 1. What piece is a Tiwi? Is that the T piece in our fake Jeopardy scenario? I'm surprised Jeopardy. I don't know. They surprised that was a question, given it was not the real material, right? I love Jeopardy though. We have any Jeopardy fans in the chat? I'm not that good at it, but I like to watch it. And then say how much better that I am than they are when I get a question right and they don't. Even though I'd get crushed. I like how the color palette is offset by a 1 in modern versus classic Tetris. Same. Same goes for zone battle. I always appreciate, especially because I'm not that good at using the non-standard modern Tetris colors like we see on the left here. Or that's how I prefer playing. I'm not very good at single color pieces. So I appreciate when players are pretty good at utilizing the I guess ScoreTac and classic ScoreTac isn't monochrome, but or like mono colors. But zone battle is just one color for the pieces, right? I have trouble with that. Yeah, what do you guys use? I guess the reason being, I guess for how I read the board, I tend to look for the colors of the next pieces, and obviously not everyone does it that way because some players are just so nice, perfect clear from Aiken. Some players are just, I guess they read the board differently or whatever the reason may be. Do you have is there a British equivalent to Jeopardy? Like Countdown, maybe? You know, we actually had there's a top Tetris player that was on that show, Countdown. Somebody I used to play against all the time. Their name is Paul. I think they won on Countdown. They don't play Tetris actively anymore. This is like old school Tetris. The boomer players out there probably know who Paul is. They were very good. But pretty sure he won on Countdown. Which is a British like trivia like show, right? Well, they're both kind of like quiz shows. Am I wrong? What's the show you have that's closest to Jeopardy in the UK? McCry uses traditional for zone battle and customized for score attack. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think the score attack is not quite as bad. Because I do like the colors in classic score attack, for example. Ooh, Aiken with these PC. Aiken is a interesting specimen when it comes to Tetris stacking. That's probably a better word. But yeah, this 2-piece preview, PC finding player we know is Aiken throwing down here. Oh, almost had that PC there. PC standing for perfect clear, of course. Or all clear. I think it's actually all clear within Tetris Effect. Aiken is just fishing for him too, so if they don't get these all clears, they're going to be paying for it if Shock gets caught up here. Shock does have a messy board to work through, but they are still about 40 lines behind. Could probably get caught up at this rate. However, it looks like they're bringing the board down and possibly back into a scoring position. Decides to go for that Tetris instead of burn. Very nice. Oh, there's a show called Pointless. I'm not familiar with that one. Family Feud. I feel like there is. I feel like Family Feud is on 24/7. On I don't have cable, but if I'm ever at like my family's or something, it's like always on TV. All right, will Shock be able to come back here? Rocking, I like the level 19 colors or level 9 colors, and score attack looks very nice. They definitely have the runway to do so. As long as they score mostly Tetrises and T-spins here, they have the potential to get caught up against Aiken, who is throwing down those all clears. All right, so stacking high in the center like that can actually be kind of nice for these high gravity scenarios, right? If you are Shock, it allows you to get your pieces to the far right and left. And there we go, double back-to-back Tetris, much needed for Shock here as we approach our final levels. T-spin mini, looks like Aiken is going to maybe top out. No, not quite yet. There we go, tops out at level 27. So Shock has a little bit of runway here to get 150,000 points within 2 minutes. The board is a little messy, so this is definitely a bit of a challenge. Ooh. I think they had the right idea, just unfortunate execution on getting that piece of the far left. Oh, they managed. Okay, they top out. So Aiken takes game number 2. Tiebreaker. Final game of the night between Aiken and Shock 59. Good luck. Level 12 start. Oh, you're welcome, McCry. Thanks for stopping by. Aiken once again fishing for these all clears. And yeah, as we close out here, and you want to participate in the future, be sure to join our Discord at discord.gg/enhance. Players of all skill levels are welcome to play. Yeah, we're not going to be hosting this next Friday, but pretty much every other Friday. And also, I think in June might be a special month when it comes to streams, as we have events like CTWC and whatnot, so might not be happening every weekend depending on what else is going on, but yeah, usually on Fridays we host these. Shock a little high to the board there, gets that Tetris to bring it down a bit. So Aiken picked a level 12, meaning we have green pieces for a while, or lime colored pieces. Getting a lime green vibe on Shock's side right now. All right, thanks, Haunt. Good luck with your commentary. Can we get a bonus game of you versus a level 10 CPU at level 20? Remind me in the future. I'm down in the future. I think we're already going over time a little bit. I appreciate the gesture, though. I would have crushed that computer, so... I won't do the CPU like that. But yeah, playing against CPU is usually a good way to practice, for sure. CPU doesn't make too many mistakes, unless they are artificial mistakes. Yeah, if you're looking to get practice without the pressure of playing other players, definitely can hop into a local game, play the computer. And the computers are actually quite good. So even in zone battle or connected, especially in connected, classic, all the CPUs throw down. Yeah, I don't play. I think level 10 is. I remember when Zone Battle was brand new. Even our top players were like struggling against the level 10 computer, just because like the zone mechanic was so new. But yeah, the bots are so good on Tetris Effect, which is great for practice. And then of course you can even give the bot like some handicap settings if you're really looking for some trouble. But really the best practice in the end is just getting more matches. Well, I guess in combination of other things, but the best practice for zone battle is to play zone battle against other players in ranked, probably. Of course, if you need to work on your fundamentals and stuff like that beforehand, or before you grind a lot of zone battle matches, There's usually always something to be learned in this game, which is part of the draw. For as simple as Tetris is, there's a lot to be learned and always room to improve. Even if you are a CTWC champ, if your name is Akashi Robo, whoever you may be, there is room to improve. Believe it or not. If he gets any faster, I'll give up. No, if they get faster, that should be motivating. Like, wow, that's... I don't know. It's extremely impressive, at the least. So we heard the music change a little bit as we approached that post level 20 as Aiken brings us in there. And Aiken's actually a little bit behind on score despite being ahead by 38 lines here. So Aiken is going to have to be a little bit more efficient if they want to nab this game. I think Aiken has the ability to play a little bit later in terms of levels, so they might have that going for them. There we go, double Tetris. Quickly clearing 20 lines there to go through 2 levels. Or nearly 20 lines. Shock with a little bit of mess on their board. However, this is a totally chaseable score here, considering they're behind by as many lines as they are. Easier said than done, though. I think Aiken might be a little more comfortable on these high speeds, so that runway might not be quite as large for Shock as we may imagine it to be. Kind of like this approach from Shock, just keeping it simple on that right well, finding that T-spin single. And set up for Tetris, boom, Tetris for Shock. Just about 90k left here. Not the cleanest board, so not free by any means. Little T-spin mini. Oh, they missed the Tetris, I think. Okay, a little scary. Okay. Oh. Another Tetris. We are getting into some later levels here, so a bit of pressure on the gravity. The lock delay is quicker here, quicker than usual, despite it being the same. You can't get any faster than 20 gravity. However, you can get faster in that the pieces lock faster, right? The lock delay post level 20 increases per level. And there we go. Shock takes it with a 5k lead. Feel free to play this one out if you want to see how far you can get, as it is our last game. Show us what you got. And yeah, just a reminder, we will be having a voice hangout in our Discord tomorrow during the full moon event. Feel free to stop by. Usually a lot of fun. I'll be hanging out for a little bit, playing some matches, connected with whoever joins. It's a good time. That will be going on at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. But if you join, if that was a foreign language to you, you don't know how the American time zones translate. If you join the Discord, the event time will automatically show for your time zone. All right, so Shock makes it to level 26. GG, pretty close set. all around. Aiken versus Jock. I'm sure we'll have this matchup again in the future. GG from Coleman. Agreed. Yeah, nice games. With that, we are done for the night. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and participating. We will be here again before you know it. Next week, like I mentioned, we are going to have a Humanity stream on Friday to celebrate our launch of Humanity on Xbox Game Pass. But following that, we should once again have a community showcase. What is next? It's either Zone Battle or Classic Score Attack is going to be our next showcase. What do you guys want to play? Let me know in the Discord or whatever. what game mode do you want to play on our next showcase? And if not, I'll just see what our what game mode we haven't played most recently. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. And we are done for the night. So have a good weekend. Hopefully we'll see some of you in tomorrow's voice hangout on our Discord at discord.gg/enhance. Select that community events role to be notified of these showcases in the future when you get onboarded there. Or you can, if you forgot to do it or skip the onboarding, just head to the Get Roles channel and select community events. But I am done for the night. Everybody have a good weekend. Twiz saying Zone Battle. It might actually be Zone Battle. If not, it'll be probably Zone Battle or Classic. Usually way more than 2. Usually 2 hours is the cutoff. I usually aim for an hour and a half, but usually it ends up going to 2 hours anyways. So, all right. I will see you guys all in 2 weeks or tomorrow if you are in our voice hangout. So, sayonara, goodbye. Have a good weekend.